One cool mechanic in Promise Mascot Agency is how saving mascots work. On jobs, more often than not, mascots will get themselves into trouble. In order to get the full payout for the job, you need to go in and save them. To do this, you use hero cards. Hero cards have different stats on them. The only one you're interested in is the icon matching the health bar at the top of the screen. The number next to that icon on the card equals the amount of damage that hero card does to the health bar. You have 60 seconds and 2 turns in order to get that health bar down to 0. This mechanic is cool firstly because it adds a bit of strategy to quite a humorous part of the game, but secondly it's because of how you get these hero cards. You get these hero cards by exploring the town, speaking to people and helping them out, and in return they will help out your mascots. Exploration and this minigame on the surface aren't really tied together, but with the hero cards being the glue, it's a great motivator for players to explore and engage with NPCs and the story, which is another reason why this mechanic is so interesting. One cool mechanic in Pinnacle Point is the Resonator. The Resonator is an Alan Wake style device, but instead of shining a light on enemies to prime them to be shot, you trigger the Resonator, which plays a high-pitched frequency. This feels great to use. It slows the enemies down whenever you use it, so whether you are priming them for attack or just getting out of dodge, the Resonator works well as a really useful tool. Additionally, the Resonator is used to affect the environment, such as removing barriers or locks. The trick with this though is everything you remove was in place for a reason, to protect you. Once it's removed, so there's always an interesting decision for the player to make. One cool mechanic in Wizardom is how the progression system works and how it's balanced, more importantly. So Wizardom is a boomer shooter with roguelike elements, those elements being paid upgrades between runs, which is pretty run-of-the-mill. However, it's how those paid upgrades actually work in practice. When playing Wizardom, if you just rush through and just go to the quest marker at any chance you get, you'll find out pretty quickly that it's going to take a while for you to be able to afford the upgrades you need. The player really needs to explore, find hidden areas, take on optional combat and enemies, and even find a goblin Santa-like creature that appears occasionally with a big bag of gold. Note with the last one, you need to kill him quick or he is out of here. The reason I wanted to call this out is because I can't remember the last time a boomer shooter, new or old, has ever made me this hungry for exploration, and I think it's down to the balancing and level design in Wizardom. One cool mechanic in Frog Detective 2 is the notebook. The first game in the series, Frog Detective 1, had less characters and less items to gather, so it relied on the player going back to each character to get them to repeat what item they needed. Due to the increased ask from the player, Frog Detective 2 introduces a notebook which has 2 pages for each character you come across. Within the notebook, you will see their name, potential motive for committing the crime you are investigating, the item they want in order to progress the story, as well as sometimes useful but most of the time hilarious notes about the character that the Frog Detective has observed. Now this is a pretty simple mechanic, I'm not going to deny it, but one of the reasons why it's cool is due to the evolution between the first game and the second game. The team wanted to expand the game, and they recognized with that expansion they needed to give the player the tools to deal with the expanded story and ensemble of characters, and the notebook is a great mechanic to do just that. One cool mechanic in Wheel World is the way the boost works. Like in a lot of racing games, you have a boost. However, it's the way the player gains boost which is really interesting. You gain boost by getting airtime, by near misses or crashes. Basically, anytime you go off-road, your chances of getting a boost increases. What this does is it rewards players that are trying to go fast by cutting corners or finding shortcuts anyway, by giving them a boost to go even faster. This is a classic case of synergistic design which works really well for this title.